I am TheChilliers. Everyone subscribe to YouTube. Gonna go through this patch notes on January 31st, I guess. War of the Roses. A new form of conquest war being this coming month day on Sunday. War of the Roses. We'd like to thank everyone of the adventurers for the support and patience. Being a large-scale PvP content, we be keeping an eye during the pre-season, applying fixes and making adjustment with haste. So it's a pre-season War of the Roses. They just like many other things, they are gonna throw it into the game, and just like many of the pre-seasons in BDO, they usually can change many things very quickly, like hot fixes and etc. etc. War of the Roses main quest line. So okay, there is a quest line. By the Oracle of Sylvia, the War of Roses ignited between Camasylvia and Adelita over the All-Mother's throne. Queen Brolina, Ornette of Camasylvia, and Queen Viorenzia Odor of Adelita bolstered their respective factions, welcoming all of the adventurers eager to join their cause. One throne, two successors, who shall emerge as the rightful queen. So I'm guessing that you're gonna have to pick one or the other. Maybe you can pick one one week and like the other one the next week. Maybe I don't know. You get a title if you complete. You can only proceed with one path given at any time. Interesting. Yeah, okay. So you get a title, one or the other. White rose, black rose. You do not need to complete the War of Roses main questline to participate in the War of Roses. That's good to know. War of Roses participation on Sundays. Wait, what? Once the leading guild have been appointed as Saturday. Okay, leading guild has to be appointed on Saturday, and then the adventurer can apply for the 3rd Legion spot. So you apply for it on Saturday and early Sunday, like from nighttime into early daytime, I guess, 15:05. But then you play it on Sunday, right? So how to apply? You apply, boom, boom, participation, like up. Leading guild up to 100 members, 3rd Legion up to 200 per faction. NAEU times right there. That's the application times. Condition. Who won at least one tier 4-5? Oh yeah, so that's for the leading guild, and then for the 3rd guild, total gear score 680. Oh. But how do they how do they calculate this? Do they calculate that? Hello, goddess. How you doing, goddess? I mean, they sort of test it with a preseason. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. It's a bigger test. It's not like an alpha test or anything, but it's like a bigger test, really. But it should be playable, it should be functional, it shouldn't be laggy, it shouldn't be like forcing people, like crashing people out of the game, it shouldn't do anything, like it should be a playable game mode. I would love if this works. If this works and you can play it and you don't crash, and you're gonna lag a little bit, but if you can play it, I would have loved that. That would have been so cool. But we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna see how it works on Sunday. Here's like some additional notes right here. Refund cost on participation. If there are multiple guild alliances with the same number of highest points occurred. Forming and breaking alliances, joining and leaving guilds, war heroes. On war heroes and the 3rd Legion. So this is things that could change, of course. Everything here can kind of change a little bit because of the preseason. But yeah, we take it as we go, I guess. You doing good, Goddess? Yeah, nice, me too. We just hit a pen disto. The one that we tried to go for last time. They didn't, wait, they likely didn't have hundreds of employees. No, no. No, but we all know that it's gonna be lagging and desyncing. Like we played Node Wars with 600 participants before, and it was unplayable. So we all know what it's gonna be like. Hopefully they've done a few modifications when it comes to that, but so this is the schedule right there. So guilds can apply for leading guild from Saturday 00 to Sunday 0010 for approximately 24 hours. The appointed leading guild will be announced after this. After the leading guild are announced from Sunday 0010 to 1505 for approximately 15 hours, captains will be appointed and applications will be taken for participants for the 3rd Legion. The War of Roses will be held for 2 hours on Sunday at Odelita server. War period once every 2 weeks. Then we have some NA times right there and EU times right there. Cool. There's like there's so many times here. Leading captain times, guild appointment announcement times, applying for leading guild captain times, leading guild captain appointment and 3rd Legion announcement times, and then we have War of the Roses times. There is so many times here. I'm already freaking out. If I was a guild, manager or whatever, I would free. I wouldn't have no idea. That, like, you know, I'm a 3rd guild. Like, well, what do I need to do? Like, this is very confusing, and also it is so many things. It's so many things. They should. I don't know if they have this or not, but if they don't have this, they should have this UI in the game, and there should be like a big UI right there that says like leading blah 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 has to do it like right now, like sign up is right now, and then you have like a checklist, you know, it's like checklist, like boom 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 boom, and like, you know, leading faction blah 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 right now, and then once you've done that, like, you know, the next day you have like the 3rd lead, like then it's their time, right? So you can like see it happening in the UI. Like an in-game War of the Roses sheet. Yeah, like a checkbox in a way. You know, like now is live participation registration. You know, like and now is closed, and now you go into the next one, and 680 is gonna be laughable on NA. Yeah, but they want to make it so like a lot of people can participate. So that's why they have 680 gear score. Captains and lieutenants, guildmaster of the leading guild, can either appoint or become captains themselves on way to seize command over the battlefield. Captains gain access to the tactical map, which lets them see live updates during the war, as well as the arsenal of unique skills. Lieutenants play a rather important part in supporting their captains, and their appointment can literally swing the tide of battle. So I'm kind of getting the feeling of like Battlefield. If you guys played Battlefield before, you had like a commander. It's like you have like that commander role. You can see like a lot of things on the map, and you know, you can kind of set up the utilities and stuff like that. I'm just presuming here. I have no idea. The leading captain's guild must appoint one captain to. Oh my fucking god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Where were I? Oh, right here. They must appoint one captain to command a third legion with the designated time, otherwise the guildmaster of the leading guild will automatically be appointed as the legion's captain. You can appoint the captain from escape menu War of the Roses. Once a captain has been appointed and announced, they can be changed, so you make your decision wisely. Oh, they cannot be changed. Once appointed, a captain must appoint 3 trusty lieutenants before the War of the Roses begins. Failure to do so will lead to captains entering the war without any lieutenants. That's gonna be a big. I think you really want to have these, like, you know, lieutenants and like to oversee. Like I don't think you can probably not even play it otherwise. Like you're gonna lose. Like it's 100% a lose if you don't have these, like. That's what I think, at least. I think the distance between the like the map and everything and how you have to play it is, you have to know what people are doing. Yeah, I want to be positive too, and I hope that they have done some many things with the system and like coding, and I hope that this works. I wish to be optimist about this one, but I've been in Node Wars, I've been in Sieges before when they had like 200 people, 150 people. I've been in Sieges, Node Wars when they had 600 people too. It's not a good thing. One captain can be appointed to each Camasylvia Delita, and they can utilize the tactical map to decree orders and set up objectives for the 3rd Legion to take on and carry out. Okay. Captains can place leading guild members and 3rd Legion mercenaries into platoons, and only captains can set up edit platoons. You can edit platoons even while a war in progress, but you cannot remove members of a platoon once the war has begun. You cannot edit a 3rd Legion platoon that has been assigned with the missions. Captains can follow ally on the tactical map along with the occupied points, while continuously issuing cancel missions to the 3rd Legion. So it's like the third Legion is a little bit like it's like the potatoes, you know, like you're like the god chief, and you take the potatoes, you be like, oh, go do that shit over there, and it's like so that's the feeling I get from that. It is most likely only going to be like the strongest guilds that are going to be like the you know, in charge of, you know, captains and stuff like that, and they're gonna control the entire war, like they plan it out that way. But I don't know. Yeah. You can appoint 3 lieutenants. Lieutenants can also be assigned orders of various missions to members of the 3rd Legion, the tactical map. So this is the war area right there. War of the Roses is held over the sections of Camasylvia and Adelita territory displayed below. There are no safe zones in the War of the Roses. The entire map becomes combat zone, which is good. So you can't like use and abuse the safe zones. I wonder if you can take a boat. The castles have been stable keepers of wharf Wait, oh, they have the wharf managers in certain spots, so you can like use boats and shit. Wait, what? Old Wisdom Tree and Starry Midnight Port has been stable keepers. Interesting. naval combat. Yeah, hopefully that doesn't desync too much either. And hopefully naval ships, they do like real things, like if they were to shoot into land, that they actually do stuff like you know, that would actually give like boats a big use, and not just, you know, like meme boats like CCing people, but they don't really do anything. There used to be nodes in the sea to capture, but I think they got removed. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I like how they implement the boats and everything, but hopefully it just works smoothly. War's commencement and progress. Any participant standing in the war area prior to the war beginning will be automatically teleported to within their faction's castle once the war begins. Your faction commander blessing can be received by standing near them before heading out to conquer the first sanctum. Defeat adventurers in the opposing faction to acquire higher ranks that will be displayed on simplified family info. Participant and placement. Once the war begins, all participants within the area will be moved to one of the 3 random coordinates within their faction castle wall. You won't be moved if you're already inside your faction's castle. All participants must move to the war area to participate in the War of the Roses. Okay. Faction buff. When the war begins, each faction commander will grant a boon for 5 minutes to all who approach them within the Ordor castle. And these buffs will help support your conquest of sanctums. Extra monster AP. 30 plus 30 for 10 minutes. Okay. Ranks and simplified info, family info. All participants will see their character name displayed simplified as their following during the war function, rank, and family name. Okay. And then you get different ranks right there, right? It's like hero 100 kills, devourer 50 kills, elite champion 30 kills, champion base rank. That's pretty cool, yeah. Okay. Additional notes, all participants' Black Spirit Rage is reset. Guild skill restriction on a server. War of the Roses in progress is restricted. Yeah. Restricted guild skills. All monsters on War of the Roses server will disappear after 15 minutes before the war begin. All use of access of the map and the compass, telescope, Magnus Abyssal Wells are restricted, so you can't use those. All non-participants on the same server will see their DP reduced to 0, become susceptible to participant attacks. Only adventurer bearing the war correspondent title can go about their corresponding ways unaffected by the above effect. Okay. All areas where the War of the Roses is in progress become combat zone. So yeah, we can see the nodes right here, right? So I'm guessing you're gonna have to like occupy this one before you can like go and take this one, right? So you try to work yourself through to get to that last little thing right there, right? You could be skipping this, like you could be skipping this maybe, and then you can just go for that, and then you can like go up there and go there too, right? So you can like just go this way and that way. Wait. Can't you just go to like just follow this middle one, and then you can go to all these three. You take that one, and that one, and then all of a sudden you don't need to get these, right? Okay, well, let's go through it. Yeah. Get the new code free. War of the Roses, Sanctum and Monsters. Occupied sanctums not only grant the beneficial buffs to allies, but also serve as a resurrection point. These take advantage of these buffs to gain an upper hand, ultimately defeating the opposing faction's commander. Do note that any interruption between the occupied sanctum may cause you to lose all buffs. Okay, so maybe you do want to occupy like all of them, or as many of them as possible. There are 20 sanctums in the War of Roses, with different monsters spawning at each sanctum, minus the the first sanctum occupied in the beginning by each faction once war commences. Faded relics will spawn at each neutral sanctum, which will remain passive to adventurers. If a sanction is occupied by the opposing faction, you will need to defeat all monsters that have spawned at that sanctum. Once all monsters have been cleared, allied guardian monster will spawn, affiliated to the newly reoccupied sanctum. Guardian monster types are fixed based on each sanctum. Okay. So this is the monsters you're gonna have to fight to occupy the sanctum. You can only conquer sanctums that are closest to sanctum occupied by your faction. Defeating monsters in order sanctum will not let your faction occupy them. So you have to like go one at a time here. Each time your faction occupies a sanctum, all participants in your faction will obtain one of the following passive effect. You can check the tactical map to see which sanctum grants which passive effect. AP buff, DR buff, Black Spirit recovery, resistance, HP, movement speed, attack speed, accuracy, evasion. Damn. Spirit Altar. The guards of Ornet's and Odor Castle are quite formidable, so occupying the Spirit Altar to attain the Spirit Blessing is key before attempting any siege of the opposing faction's castle. You must transfer a certain amount of Black Spirit Rage to occupy the Spirit's Altar. We strongly recommend utilizing mounts with high HP, such as elephants, before attempting the siege. There is only one Spirit's Altar during the war. You must transfer enough Black Spirit Rage into the monster spawn around the altar to occupy it. The Spirit Altar is crucial to occupy before attempting to siege the enemy faction's castle due to powerful buff. And will also spawn ancient chariots and ancient trolls and elephants. Oh, really? Spirit's Altar occupation effect. The Spirit Blessed grants temporary but powerful effect, helpful for the besieging of enemy castle. Yeah, okay. So this is gonna help out tremendously, it sounds like. Or if like you kind of sounds like you have to do this in a way. That's the feeling of it, at least. Taking them down under the effect of the Spirit Blessing is key to achieving victory in the War of the Roses. Once the Spirit Altar is activated, it cannot be reoccupied for 20 minutes, and you can check the timer on the tactical map. Okay. War of the Roses, victory conditions. The ultimate goal of leading Captain's Guild is to defeat the opposing faction's commander. For the sake of securing the advantage in local skirmishes, it is crucial to continue occupying more sanctums. With your guild alliance members leading up to 200 3rd Legion members and the rest of your faction to victory. The 3rd Legion ultimate goal is also taking down the opposing faction's commander. Raise down enemy sanctions and protect those occupied by your faction, while freely engaging the enemy throughout the war area. The leading captain's guild will issue missions from time to time where needed, so carry them out to achieve your goal. You must defeat the opposing faction's commander located within their their castle walls to achieve victory in the War of the Roses. If both commanders remain standing at the end of the war, the faction whose commander has the highest HP win. What happens if both of them have 100% HP? It's like they busy occupying sanctums. Okay. This reminds me a lot of like almost like Ion in a way. It's like you have to like go in there and fight these like monsters and NPCs and occupy, and it's a little bit like updated with sanctums and nodes, if you want to call them that. Guards watch over the inner and outer walls of each faction castle. They're quite formidable. Proceed with caution. Defeated guards will not respawn. That's good. War of the Roses tactical map. During the War of the Roses, the world map used known as tactical map. The tactical map displayed occupied status, HP, and other information of each sanctum. Captains and lieutenants can view the location of and view of allies, and the location of enemies discovered by allies will also be marked on the map. That's good. So you can see like the enemies if they mark them. Through the tactical map, captains and lieutenants of the leading guild can issue missions to the 3rd Legion to attack, defend, and suppress each sanctum. Missions ordered by captains and lieutenants on the tactical map are displayed on screen to the 3rd Legion along with the navigation. The captain of the leading guild can access 6 captain-only faction skills via the tactical map. You can illuminate your own view to spot any weakness or obscure the opponent's tactical map. Disrupt their tactics. Powerful ogres and griffin can be summoned to a specific sanctum to occupy or defend. Platoon can be rallied to certain allied sanctums, making it invincible for a period of time. Okay, so that's like a few of the skills, it seems like. I don't like the marketplace UI that they added in the game. If you go in from the storage vendor and into the marketplace, it feels weird. Tactical map is exclusively used in place of the world map during the War of the Roses. The war area and status of the faction commander can be checked along with the sanctum status, remaining HP occupied status, and the placement of platoons. Regardless of your faction, allies are marked in blue and enemies are marked in red. The location and status of members based on their position can also be viewed. Okay. Critter Sonic, thank you for the follow. Captains, lieutenants can see the location of allies and enemy location in revealed areas. Platoon leaders of each faction can see the current location of the location and the location of other platoon members. Platoon members of each faction can see one's current location. Okay, so I have one question here. Is it allowed, quote unquote, to like if a captain is streaming, or a captain is Discord streaming, or private streaming, you can have like the leader of the third platoon or whatever seeing what the captain is seeing. Is that allowed? You can see what they are seeing anyway. So even though you can't see it in the game, you can stream it in a private Discord. So that would be one of my questions. I don't know if that would be beneficial or not either. Maybe they don't need to know. But yeah, that could be one of those like question marks, like, because they kind of make it this way for a reason, right? Or maybe yes, they try to simplify it, maybe. Tactical map control. The captain can inspect the allies' platoon formation, and together with the lieutenant can assign the mission to the 3rd Legion. Missions can be assigned continuously to move forward with the 3rd Legion. If allies are moving around or lost, their direction can be assigned through the area selection control. A color navigation ping can also be used in major regions or locations. So they have a platoon list, platoon deployment, mission assignment, chat UI, RMB, navigation directly, region, right click, okay. Area selection, navigation, ping function. Faction skills. One of the most significant strategic elements to win the War of the Roses is the captain's faction skill. Confuse or trick your opponent with a strategic skill to gain the advantage during the battle. Multiple skills can be used together for a more effective strategy. Only the captains can use the 6 faction skill during the War of the Roses. 6 faction skill are as follow. Enhanced vision reveals an obstacle field of vision for 10 seconds. 5-minute cooldown. So that's like a scan, right? You're scanning, like in Battlefield, Rally forces. Instantly teleports a selected platoon to targeted sanctum. 5-minute cooldown. That's pretty nice. Powerful attack. Summon a griffin calc near the designated sanctum to temporarily unleash heavy area AoE damage. Okay. So you're putting like AoE damage in an area. 10-minute cooldown. I wonder how big area that is. It has to be pretty goddamn big. It has to be like a big area, because classes in this game is tremendously quick. So you have to like have a very, very huge area. Summon an ogre. Summons an ogre near the designated sanctum to... the summoned ogre will disappear when the target sanctum guardian is defeated or after a certain time period. 20-minute cooldown. Obscure vision. Obscure the enemy's field of vision in fog for 30 seconds. The enemy captain can use enhanced vision skill to remove the obscure vision effect. 3 minutes. Okay, so you're just trying to like hinder each other from seeing what happens on the play field. That's pretty nice. Like it gives the captain something to do, right? Immobilize guardians. Freezes the sanctum guardians and restore 20% of their HP, making them impossible to target for approximately 1 minute, 10-minute cooldown. God damn. There's a lot of things to read about. Okay, the 3rd Legion mission. The 3rd Legion operates freely within the war, facing various enemies and situations. You can earn more reward by completing mission assigned by your faction. Note that during the pre-season period, mission completion reward will not be applied. Adventurers participating as a member of the 3rd Legion can go on mission assigned by the captain, which may be completed at a platoon level. 6 types of missions are as follows, depending on which one mission is selected for given location attack, defense, or enemy suppression. The 3rd Legion can be assigned one of them following 6 missions. Sanctum attack, capture a specific sanctum within 10 minutes. Sanctum defense, defend a specific sanctum for 10 minutes. Defeat a commander within 10 minutes. Protect a commander for 10 minutes. Defeat enemies times 40. So I guess you can eliminate 40 enemies within 10 minutes. Spirit altar activation, activate the spirit altar for your faction within 10 minutes. Mission performed at platoon level can only be carried out one at a time. Multiple missions are impossible. Missions can continuously be assigned and completed. The more successful mission, the higher the reward. Note that during the pre-season period, mission completion reward will not be applied. Okay, that's kind of sad. War of the Roses weapons. In War of the Roses, annexes such as elephant nurseries and cannon observatories are not utilized, and weapons deployed at the start of the War of the Roses can be used immediately. By effectively utilizing the characteristic of each weapon, such as damage to guardian monsters, damage to individuals, etc., you can gain an advantage in the war. During the War of the Roses, 5 types of weapons are available: elephants, chariots, trolls, ballista, and cannons. I want to see one of those chariots. That sounds cool. These spawns at specific location at the start of the war. Elephant chariots, ballista spawn at the bridge in front of each faction castle, while cannons spawn at the designated spots. The ancient troll and siege mount is only summoned when the spirit altar is occupied. It can be directly mounted by adventurer from the occupying faction. Once deployed at the start of the war, these weapons do not respawn if destroyed and will disappear at the end of the war. Okay, so you have to be careful. War of the Roses weapons are accessible to all allies regardless of whether they belong to the leading Captain's Guild or the 3rd Legion or their rank. When using the War of the Roses exclusive weapons, chariot, ballista, cannon, no ammunition is consumed. That is good. So you don't need to like refill anything or... War of the Roses revival. When you die in War of the Roses, you can choose to revive at the sanctum occupied by your allies. You can also choose between quick revival or revival. Upon death, you choose a location on the tactical map to revive. You choose a location in your faction castle or sanctum occupied by your allies. You can choose either quick revival 30 seconds or revival 45 seconds. Quick revival is faster, but only recovers your HP 20%. Whereas revival takes longer. Okay, I feel like this is kind of BS right there. This is the first time I read about something kind of BS about this. Some classes have heals, and some classes don't have heals. So I think it's kind of BS that they do this stuff. Like you can have a lot of classes that they can be pretty fine with spawning with 20%. They usually use one of their heals to get back to 100%. But then you have a lot of classes in BDO that don't have any heals, and you know it takes more than 15 seconds to heal back up from 20% to 100%. Alan, for example. Yeah, some classes have AoE heal too, and that can be coordinated. But if you don't coordinate that, if you don't have a wizard or Valkyrie or etc., etc., I think it's kind of BS that this is a thing, to be honest. You know what it should really be? It shouldn't be based on HP. It should be like It should be like a attack speed, cast speed nerf or something like that. You know, negative 50% movement speed or something. That's what it really should be, like negative 50% movement speed, cast speed, and blah blah blah. If you want to spawn faster, but then, you know, like I feel like this is like HP discrimination right there. Yeah, you can team up, but we all know how that goes. Like, we all tried it before. We all, you know, like, wizard heal, please. Where's all of the wizard heals? That there is no one healing, you know? We all been a part of that. It's also like, if you want to wait for people to like group up, maybe that's gonna take like a minute for people to group up. That's just how long it takes for people to group up. So then you could as well just spawn at 45 seconds. I feel like this is just a thing for people, like they have that quick heal and they go straight out there again. But for some classes they can't do that. If you want to group up people, that's gonna take more than 15 seconds, so that's not really gonna be worth it. So I feel like that's kind of weird. Where's the shy buffs? We need a ping from LOL for heal pings. That would be. I don't know what the LOL ping is, but that would be interesting to have like a specific ping. You can like set it up to be a specific thing, right? It's like a heal or something, or. But yeah, it would take way longer than 15 seconds to regroup for a wizard to like re-heal and stuff like that. War of the Roses reward. Okay, this is interesting. Pre-season reward. The following reward will be given at the end of the War of the Roses during the pre-season. Reward are distributed in the mail. Victory. Worth 3 billion silver. Gold bars and glorious battlefield 10,000 G times 3. Liberation 2 billion. Defeat 1.5 billion. Note that the rewards may not be granted if you do not fully participate in the War of the Roses, including cases and of absence. Absence. Yeah, so like if you leave the war. Hmm. So yeah, pre-season almost no reward. It's only for funsies, really. You get a little bit like 3 billion, but you know, whatever. That's an hour grind in the crypt. War of the Roses season reward. The following reward given out: 6 billion for leading guild victory, 3 billion for third legion. I feel like that's kind of like a too big of a difference, in my opinion. Why would a third legion get like half of the reward? It is tremendously important that you have a third legion to play in the War of the Roses to even win. Why do you almost like not get any reward? They kind of have to change that a little bit. If you don't even have a third legion, if you don't incentivize it, and you don't have people playing it, and then you're always going to be losing. I do understand the hierarchy though, that you want it to be a hierarchy of reward, but it you know, doesn't the leading guild pay for being the leading guild? I haven't really read anything about payment. I haven't read anything about payment stuff. Unless I'm lost in translation. They do get additional reward for the mission completion, so that can stack up maybe. But yeah, they definitely need to incentivize this like War of the Roses. If they want people to do PvP and they want it to be like good and fun and cool and this is all like this is nothing like this is almost like at the you know you know like it's not that much money nowadays in BDO, sadly. I mean weirdly. Remember in the one of the first versions you needed to pay to sign up? Maybe it got removed. Yeah, I don't think I read anything like that. But I could be lost in translation. It's been a lot of information here. War of the Roses penalty. You receive a penalty for the following violation while participating in the War of the Roses. If not connected to the War of the Roses server or deleted for more than 10 minutes, you get penalized. No character movement for more than 10 minutes, you get penalized. Moving out of the war area, for more than 10 minutes or 10 times, you get penalized. When you leave the war area, a warning will be displayed on the minimap at the top right of the screen. When you're out of the area for more than a minute, a warning message will be displayed, and you will be receiving a penalty if the message is shown 10 times. Okay. When receiving the War of Roses penalty, the below will be applied. You cannot collect War of the Roses reward. You cannot participate in the following 4 wars as a part of the 3rd Legion. So you'll be banned, quote unquote, from 2 months. That's a long time. But that's probably a good thing. I'm just gonna say, I think that's a good thing. They had like these are pretty. You have to like actively do this. Unless your game bugs out or something, you can't log back in, or like you're like DC'd or and it's still staying. You know, you have to like actively do that to get the penalty. So that's probably pretty good. Penalize the participation information, guild and family details will be shared with their faction captain and lieutenants for the real-time platoon reorganization. That's also good, so they know. Penalized adventure will be marked on the participants list left of the War of the Roses placement edit screen. That is good, so people know. Repetitive 3rd Legion participation prevention. When selecting participants for the 3rd Legion in the War of the Roses, the following priorities are applied. First priority group, 3rd Legion first picks. Those who are not selected as the 3rd Legion in the last war. And second priority group, when the first priority group is short on members, those with the history of being selected as the 3rd Legion in the last war. If you participated in previous wars as part of the leading guild, you will be considered as the first priority group when applying as the 3rd Legion in the next war. Okay. War Correspondent, adding a function for adventurers with the War Correspondent title to view the status of the war, escape, war of the Roses UI. You can check on the tactical map and overall sanctum occupation status HP while on the Adelita server during the war via the War of the Roses UI. You can also receive messages at the bottom right of on the function skills. Captains of each faction. Abusing the rights of the war correspondent will result in the removal of the title and rights. Okay. So a lot of information. Preseason, I think is very good for them to add like a test. Preseason, they have to do that to see how things work out and if things really do work at all, or if it doesn't. So good. Already a few things. The reward seems to be a little bit poo-poo still. You can almost grind 6 billion an hour. Like if they want this to be like a grand thing, like one time every 2 weeks that people want to do, like just up that. Give people like 20 billion. Who cares? No, maybe 20 billion might be a little bit too much, but like give them 10 billion for winning. 12, 10. Who cares? They have to work for it, right? It's gonna be a war. It's gonna take a long time. They have to do stuff. They have to win. So yeah, give people very good reward. Otherwise, it seems very cool. Seems very nice. It seems very interesting. As long as it works, intentionally, if it works good, it seems to be very fun. I will definitely check on it on Sunday. I'll see. We will see when someone plays it, right? Okay. So let's go into the casual the casual patch notes. They removed the weight penalty applied within the Magnus. Yes, I was talking about this last week. Finally. Total likes, they reset these things here, right? So like with the likes and the titles, cool. Life crystal and vital crystal, simplification life crystals, simplifying. Well, what is this? Applying the following changes depending on the type of number of crystals owned in your life skill silver crystal have been reimbursed in accordance with the following process. Okay, so they're reimbursing you for the crystals that you have right there. Life crystal gathering, value of 400 million silver times 10. Fishing, 300 million. Is an example of reimbursement right there. Okay. Deletion of certain crystals. Delete the following magical crystal from the game. That is pretty good to do that, because there are so many of these that we don't even know. They are so old that we would never use it ever. Sometimes, I mean, many times it's just better to delete them than to find a use for them, right? That there's not really a need to find a use for them either. So they're changing the Div encyclopedia right there, removing the Crystal of Infinity, changing the objective condition reward conversation of the quest, remove the deleted crystals from Juvelry Monster Zone loot. Knowledge of deleted crystal items can be obtained through jewelers in each town. Change the item in some reward boxes, including now deleted crystals. Change the item name of Faint Magic Crystal Box to Magical of Infinity Box. Poor red players. Yeah, but they can buy like the other ones, if they can buy them. If they don't get sold out on the marketplace, of course. I'm talking about the other sheep, like sheep crystals. Yin Bon Avon Magic Crystals, Black Magic Crystals. Change the max stamina effect following Historia Crystals. So you get more stamina now. I said this in the global lab review, like when we went through the global labs. I don't know if there is a use for stamina anymore. There were one time when people were running centaurs, right, and having a lot of stamina could have been a good thing, but I don't know if there is a good stamina use anymore because of the how PA want endgame to be endgame and endgame to be viable for endgame people. We don't need to like overextend that much. We don't need to play like 5 different grind zones to make endgame money, right? So we don't really need to have that much stamina in the endgame grind. But yeah, no, yeah. I can't really see it for a thing for PvP either. Yeah, I don't know. Majority of red players are whack and boring, so I don't really care about them so much. Yikes. I think a lot of people are pretty more people that are red on a average are a little bit more whack. Yes, that is correct, and there is a reason for that. Dim magical crystals, simplified dim magic crystals to be once divided into each life skill. Remove the dim magical crystal combat and dim magical crystal karma. Increase the maximum number of transfusible in the game dim magic crystal group from 2 to 6. Okay. So you can use 6 of them at the same time. Change the crystal grade. Following magical crystal of infinity items to blue grade to yellow. Because this still has a function in the game, right? You make it into a I think you combine it with the star send item, right? So you get the corrupted crystal. So it still has a use. So they made this to yellow, and it doesn't get yeeted and deleted, right? Following world bosses loot can now drop lackluster crystal fragment, Sarka, Nuver, ancient Kutum, Kuranda. Obtaining lackluster crystal fragment will allow you to obtain one of the following items according to set probability. I like the idea of it, as long as these crystals are very good. Like if you want to have one of these, like if you don't have a use for these, it is just like adding this is like totally garbo if you have no use for these. Yeah, hopefully there's a use for those crystals. I don't know. Change the loot gained from defeating a guild boss no longer include the Stone of Malice. Remove the alchemy formula Stone of Malice. Already owned Stone of Malice can be exchanged. Crystal of Infinity. Removed from guild boss subjugation reward list. Change the preferred items of some NPCs that could be given as a gift. Okay. Good changes when it comes to crystals. Well, one of the, except for this one, I don't really understand this one, like stamina. We don't need stamina. And unless I'm missing something like very crucial. But yeah, updating the game I think is very good. More importantly, that we can use crystals for everything, PvE, PvP, and life skilling. Make sure that we have like 100 crystal inventory. I don't think it's good for the game to you can only PvE and PvP, or you can only PvE and life skill, or PvP and life skill. I don't think that that's good. So add more crystal inventory. Otherwise, pretty okay changes right there. Low mid grinder, seasonal, and some life skillers use stamina. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend any low mid grinder PvE to use any kind of stamina. Life skillers, I don't know. I don't know about life skilling. That could make sense maybe if you're going, you know. Are you really running out of stamina though? If you're life skilling? Monster Zone, Southern Orlikita. This is the new Monster Zone right here. And I guess a little town maybe. The passage to Southern Orlikita, concealed amidst with the rugged sandstorms of the Barrens, has now become accessible. This region is characterized by chilly winds, providing a stark contrast to the abrized sand dust and blazing sun that defined Ulikita. Legendary stories abound regarding the descendants of the Knights of Dawn who vanished from Calphion in the past and are said to inhabit this land. Cool. Cool. We're gonna go check it out. New grind spot. It's the robot spider. Robot spider seems to be an AoE spot from what I've seen. Very chill AoE. Free 10 AP for 20 DP. Main loot, same as in Dark Seekers, right? Get Kabua Fragment, Ember of Resonance, Flame, Kabua Artifact. The main loot can be obtained from the Highlands or Kabua's Artifact and Flame of Resonance. Compared to Darkseeker Retreat, the chances of obtaining Ember are lower, but the chances of obtaining Kabua Fragment are higher. Unlike the PvE style of the Darkseeker Retreat, where you actively move and defeat groups of monsters, in the spider group spot, in the spider PvE solo spot, spider AoE grind spot. We need to find a name for it because I can't like Yusraid, Ice Raid, Weiss Raid. Why should Rahid grind this grind spot? I don't know. I guess for more artifact. Okay, anyway, I'm losing it. You can focus on the combat. Blah blah blah. Okay, yeah. So AOE grind spot. Changes been made to Darkseeker Retreat. Remove the inconvenient element. This included an improvement of movement between monster group, where leftover monsters once remained when moving to the next group, which will allow for smoother combat. So they're talking about the old event. People usually left them, they kept on running rotations because they didn't give you Agris loot. But it still made it worth it though. Like they had that event, they spawned in, you just kept on running rotations, right? You got a few more kills every time you showed up at the event. But they seem to be changing it to something cooler here, so I'm on board. Darkened artifact have begun to appear throughout the Darkseeker Retreat. Artifact shrouded in dark energy no longer cause confusion among the surrounding Darkseekers. I do like that change. I don't like the CC artifact change. Change the occurrence of the sealed artifact to no longer appear simultaneously when blazing embers appear. Wait, do we still have the artifact appearing on the ground to like CC? I don't like that. So yeah, we have the Sharingan in the space in the air, right? It's like that's some, you know, some Naruto stuff right there. Darken artifact emitted powerful energy, vengeance, and punitive. Darkseeker left the deep sunken darkness and disappeared. The deep sunken darkness which appeared where mournful Darkseekers are located summons the vengeful and punitive Darkseekers at the start of the battle. It has 3 levels. At the higher the level, the more Darkseekers are summoned. Okay, so we'll see what that is all about. Change the conceal, vengeful, and punitive dark seekers to be summoned from the deep sunken darkness. I don't know what that means. Yeah, yeah. We just gonna like I don't really understand what this means. Like, you know, they're taking away the damage here and there, and they improving blah blah blah. So you get attracts when you get closer to the target before attacking. And I need to play this. You know, I need to play it. Improve the vengeful and punitive dark seekers to attract this target closer before attacking. Like, are they pulling you or something? Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, but it looks pretty cool. We're gonna F this guy up. Most likely gonna have to like deal with those smaller ones, but yeah, we see. Change the amount of EXP gained, probability of acquiring loot, and the quantity of loot. So they're making it more beneficial to go there. In all ways. You get more money and you get more EXP. Change the effect of Agris to all monsters. More money. Change so you acquire the Kabua fragment from all monsters. So yeah, more chances of getting the artifact. I mean, it's gonna be faster to get the artifact because you get more fragments. Changed so that your karma remains unaffected when defeating certain monsters. What? Changed so your karma remains unaffected. Why should it be unaffected when you defeat monsters? Shouldn't you gain karma if you kill monsters? Akman Temple removed some of the topography in Akman Temple. Changed the location of the statue in Akman. Yeah. Why? Like, I'm trying to think about it. Like, did this really? It doesn't really matter, because like, I guess this is better, but you still have to run through the grind spot, right? You still have to run through the grind spot. This is better, but at the same time, it's like that doesn't really change the fact that you had to run through the grind spot. You have one of the entrances right there, and then you have like the entrance right there, and then you have another one like down here. So it doesn't really change anything. Improve the issue where the attack area displayed on the following world bosses disappear too quickly. Mount, improve the smoothness of movement when moving at very high speeds on a large ship. I wish that they kind of nerfed it down a little bit, because like the very high speed of the ships and the very high speed of the horses, in today's BDO, it feels like way too quick. It feels way too fast, and it's almost like you're flying through into the pixels and into the matrix, and then you teleport, reappear into the city, trying to render in all around you, right? It's like you almost like you go into the matrix, like everything appears you know. You're like respawning. It's a little bit too quick to feel good. But that's my opinion. Change the quest. Okay, changing quest. A bunch of I'm not gonna read about the quest changes here, but that's something that you guys can like pause in the video right here if you guys want to read about that. Dangy boy, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Improve node war participation opportunity description to actually to fit the actual gameplay. Change the location of some of the wandering NPCs. UI. Fix the following UI to open alignment with the height of the inventory to the left. Usually the UI guy would always do good things. But this time, I don't really see it. I'm sorry, UI guy. This is the one time when you kind of fail me a little bit. In my opinion, it should always be this warehouse central market should always be in the center. So like when you open it up, it doesn't matter how you open it up, but it should always be in the center, or very, very, very super close to the center. Yeah, it just feels so weird now when I open up the storage and then into the marketplace. It feels so weird. I have to look another time to see if which one is my inventory, which one is my, you know, storage in the game, and which one is the marketplace storage. And maybe I get used to it. Most likely I get used to it, but it doesn't come natural. It should be in the middle. It should be in the middle. Yeah. Change the season free server. Okay. And then lastly, a few bug changes. So this have been a very, very, very long patch, but it is because of the War of the Roses. Lan. Fix the issue where the weapon was exposed when out of combat with your awakening weapon equipped. Fix so that the hair does not overlap with the academia helmet. Fixed the issue where the appearance of the skirt was somewhat unnatural. When wearing a helmet with modified ear appearances with the hair appeared unnatural. Yeah, that's the LAN changes right there. Cool. So yeah, most of this patch here is War of the Roses. In my opinion, it sounds, looks, and I read it to be very interesting and cool and fun. Overall, I think if people can play it, and it doesn't lag out too much, and you don't get DC'd or you don't crash and you don't have too much desync, and I think that this can be very, very, very glorious PvP content. But if it doesn't, if it is too much lag and desync, if you crash out from the game all the time, if you die to invisible players, it could be almost like dead on release. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes on Sunday. I hope that this is gonna be amazing and cool, and we'll see. Everything seems like so nice, you know, to be set up in this way, and you kind of play it a little bit like Battlefield in a way. So you have commanders, like you set up, you rally the troops, and and yeah, when it comes to crystal changes, I think, you know, they just need to update the game a little bit. So taking away a few crystals, hopefully they can add more crystal inventory so people can do everything in the game if they want to do everything in the game. PvE, life skill, and PvP. They don't need to like put a paywall on that to play the game. So I feel like crystal inventory is one of the bad things that they have done pretty recently. So when it comes to crystals and stuff, I have to mention that, right? New monster region, another AoE grind spot. I guess that's fine. That's cool. Maybe they're focusing a little bit too much on these like AoE places, but yeah, forcing everyone to play Witch or Guardian. That's cool. Naruto skills in the sky right there. That's pretty cool. They didn't need to revamp or redo Darkseekers. They didn't need to do that, but it is cool. Same thing with this. They didn't need to do this, but because the same issue, even if they did this, you still have to run through there. They didn't really need to do that, even though the implementation of that is a little bit better. The issue is still there, but like, you know, the UI with this marketplace, I can't really sign on that. They didn't really need to do that. I don't even know why they did this. But yeah, no, they didn't need to do that. So that is everything from today's patch. Oh. Oh my god, it feels like I've been reading for 2 hours.